Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my Week 9 team building analysis video for Season 3 of the Pokemon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, we're sort of trying to end the season on a bit of a high. We managed to take the win last week, the close 1-0 victory over Liam, aka Unlawful Exile, and we're looking to continue that and try and get our longest ever streak of the season of 2 victories. That would be absolutely lovely. We can get that. Gonna be difficult. We are facing off against RTK and Portland Timburrs. He's a very, very competent battler. Often underrated, often overlooked to his opponent's sort of end, as it were, because you don't overlook RTK. He'll take advantage of it and he'll beat you down. And he's put together a pretty nice team as well. I'm going to go over the team he can choose from for our battle. It should be appearing on your screen right about now. He has got Milotic, Mega-Medicham, Rotom Heat, Donphan, Vileplume, Gardevoir, Greninja, and Bisharp. He made a transfer in the final transfer window. He dropped Mandibuzz and Scyther in order to pick up Greninja, which is interesting. You know, I'm happy to see no Mandibuzz. It's just such an evil thing to try and take down. Scyther can be fairly scary, as I very well know after last season using it pretty effectively. Greninja is a potential issue. Obviously it doesn't have Protean, but it does have its sort of XY moveset. But it's not the thing that worries me the most. The thing that worries me the most, and I'll go into more detail on why it worries me so much a little bit later on when I talk about the main threat, but it's Mega-Medicham. It is just so very threatening, and I had nothing for it. But I'd like to have had Milotic to try and take a hit, but he snipes it from me because, curse you RTK. Yes, Mega-Medicham is just a problem. Mega-Medicham is fairly effectively walled by bulky psychic types. I have one of them, but it's part dragon in the form of Latias, and Mega-Medicham's Ice Punch will destroy physically defensive Latias, like there's no question about it. So I kind of had to look into new team members, and for the first time in a couple of seasons make wholesale changes to my team, which is what I did. And I dropped 2 Mons, I picked up 2 Mons, and I'm going to go into them as we go through the video, because they're both going to make their debut this week. So, without further ado, let's get into the team I decided to bring against RTK. And first up, the first name on my team sheet was going to be someone to try and deal with the Mega-Medicham. Now you should know, in order to facilitate picking up the 2 Mons that I did, I dropped Armaldo and Latias. Yes, Latias is gone. It went, I think, 3 and 6 from 7 games or something ridiculously bad like that. I wasn't using it very well, and I needed someone to take on the Mega-Medicham. Now, I was instantly drawn to the Lake Trio. As you know, Uxie is my favourite legendary Pokemon. I love using Uxie, but I've already used it. And Azelf, I love using Azelf, but it's frail. I've got it in the CCL, which leaves only 1 Pokemon to pick up, and much as I'm sure Shardy will love the irony of seeing me use this Mon, the first Mon I'm bringing to this battle is going to be Mesprit. Yes, I picked up Mesprit in place of Latias. Really like good Mon. It's been called by many the Mew of NU, or the whatever tier it is, Mew of PU. Really good offensive and defensive stats. Base 80 HP and speed is not ideal, but we deal with it. So yeah, I've got Mesprit the Mesprit. We have got leftovers. Levitate, of course, is the ability. Hidden Power Fire, Grass Knot, Shadow Ball, U-Turn. We're going no stab because I'm ballsy. We got 236 HP, 68 defense with a bold nature, 144 special attack, 4 special defense, and 56 into speed. So, no stab on Mesprit, no need for stab on Mesprit. I can get all the damage I need with the coverage moves I have. You know, Hidden Power Fire. That's going to be nice for the Bisharp. It'll also hit the Vileplume. Obviously Psychic would hit Vileplume a little bit harder, but I like to have the coverage where I can get it. Grass Knot, very nice for the Milotic and the Donphan. It'll also hit the Bisharp, albeit not very hard. Shadow Ball for Mega Medicham and Gardevoir and neutral hits almost all the way around except on these dark types. U-turn for a little bit of initiative gaining. The EVs, that HP and defense allows me to take any 2 hits from Adamant Mega Medicham. The speed investment allows me to outpace a non-invested Rotom Heat, which I'm imagining he will bring to try and deal with my potential Scizor. Most of everything else is thrown to special attack just to hit as hard as possible. So Mesprit is really here to take on the Mega Medicham. It's also one of the reasons I didn't want to get Uxie, because Uxie will absolutely tank any hit from Mega Medicham. It'll probably take any 3. But if I'd have gotten Uxie for the same price as Mesprit, it might have encouraged him to run Toxic on his Mega Medicham. Now, having Mesprit a little bit less bulky, I'm hoping will encourage him not to run Toxic on Mega Medicham, because I don't want Mesprit Toxic. It needs to stick around. Take hits from the Medicham as often as possible. U-turn out when I know he's going to be switching. So that is Mesprit, the newbie. Let's hope he can do some work. Second on the team sheet, that is going to be Mega-Scizor. Shears returned to the team, another fairly bulky set. Scissorite Technician, obviously. Bug Bite, Light Screen, Agility and Baton Pass. We've got max HP for attack, 140 defense with an Impish Nature, 60 Spadef, and 52 into Speed. That 52 into Speed means that once I am Mega Evolved, I will be outspeeding a non-invested Milotic, and once an Agility's up, I'll be outspeeding a lot more things. Bug Bite is the only attack I'm going to be needing here. It hits, I believe, everything neutrally, which is absolutely fine, other than the Rotom Heat, which I'm not staying in on because it's a Scizor versus a Rotom Heat. Ain't nothing doing about that situation. Light Screen, because why not? It'll help against the Gardevoir and the Greninja, who are 2 very prevalent special threats. Agility Baton Pass. I have big plans for this. Agility Baton Pass is going to be very useful. There are certain things on my team that will really appreciate having that +2 speed that they can't necessarily get for themselves, Mesprit being one of them. Because whilst Mesprit is defensive, you know, it's still powerful, it's still got some hefty special attack investment, and it's got the coverage to do a lot of work to RTK's team. So she is pretty much here for support of the team. Yeah, that's pretty much all I need to say about Scizor. So, with that being said, we've got some pretty good defensive contingencies to outspeed some of his bulkier threats. Let's get some power onto the team. Third member is going to be Shamo the Blaziken. We have brought in Blaziken because it hits his team very hard. We have got a Sugar Berry, Blaze the ability, Flare Blitz, HJK, Swords Dance, and Agility. 140 HP, max attack, Adamant, 4 in each of the defenses, 108 into Speed. Yeah, Double Dance Blaziken is really, really terrifying. If you see Double Dance Blaziken, you should be scared because it's going to sweep you. We're just going Dual Stab, Flare Blitz, HJK. They hit everything. There's no need to run anything else. Swords Dance because power, agility. If I can't pass it in with Scizor, I can set it up for myself with Blaziken. We've got the Sugar Berry. I sort of ummed and ahed about going Shuka or Pasho. Pasho would allow me to potentially set up on the Milotic. Shuka will allow me to do the same thing for Donphan, but I will need damage on it. I suspect the Donphan will be something he'll be bringing for sure. And I would think he thinks he can set up on Blaziken, because whilst Blaziken can run Special or Mixed, I've only ever brought Physical Blaziken so far this season. So that's what I'm expecting him to think. If I have a Sugar Berry, I can take an Earthquake, and if it's in on, you know, if it's in on the Donphan, I'll go for Swords Dance. If I've got damage on him, that High Jump Kick is going to be doing a lot of damage. Yep, the speed investment, after an agility, I am hitting 228 speed, which I believe is enough to outspeed Scarfed Rotom Heat, which is the Scarf that I would imagine he's going to be bringing. I don't see Scarfed Greninja coming at all. You know, that thing's fast enough, and he wants to be able to switch up his moves. So yeah, Rotom Heat is his next fastest potential Scarfer. That's what I'm going to be trying to outspeed. So that's Blaziken. Hit everything hard, basically. If I can get up an agility and a Swords Dance, we're going to be looking in a really good position. So, fourth member of the team, and this is going to be the second newcomer, which is very exciting. As you know, I got rid of Armaldo, and having picked up Mesprit after getting rid of Latias, I have 5 million left to spend. So with that, I picked up the second new member of the team for the week, and that is going to be, drumroll please, I can't put one in, Kabutops. I brought in Old Man Tops, shout out to Top, the Kabutops. And I'll go into reasons why I picked that up after I've gone over the spread. We've got Rocky Helmet, Battle Armor, Waterfall, Toxic, Rapid Spin, and Stealth Rock. We've got Max HP, 4 into Attack, 200 into Special Defense with that Careful nature, and 52 into Speed. Once again, that speed is allowing me to outspeed a non-invested Rotom Heat and hit it with a Waterfall to get a Toxic off. I can also, with that special defense investment, live pretty much any one hit that certainly a defensive Rotom's going to go for. Without any specific heavy special attack investment. He won't be doing, well, he'll be doing a lot to me, but he won't be taking me out. The reason I got in Kabutops, I needed a spinner for this game. Armaldo was doing nothing with the rest of the season, but I knew I needed a spinner specifically for this game. I'll tell you for why. RTK has got potential hazard stack. He's got rocks on Donphan, and very crucially, something people sometimes forget about, he's got spike stack on Greninja. I don't want any part of that, but if I bring Defog, he's also got Milotic and Bisharp, both of whom will receive a double boost if I lower any of their stats. I can't have that. So I can't bring Defog. I can't afford to. And whilst I don't expect Spike Stack Greninja, it's not a risk I can take. Because if he gets those hazards stacked up, I'm going to be in a real bit of trouble, especially if I'm baton passing around with Scizor and making a lot of switches to try and deal with Mega Medicham. Admittedly, Mesprit won't be affected by the spikes, but everything else will. Other than anything that is levitating or flying. We might get onto that in a little bit. But yeah, I need Rapid Spin on Kabutops, I absolutely do. Toxic is just there for the Milotic, really. You know, I can hit most things quite hard with Waterfall. Vileplume completely walls this set, but if I'm honest, I'm not sure he's going to be bringing Vileplume, but I'll get onto that in a bit. Kabutops is here for the spin. It's also a sort of suicide switch into Mega Medicham. You know, if I need to be taking fake outs, I can go into Kabutops, get some Rocky Helmet damage, and then double straight into Mesprit to take the high jump kick that's probably going to be coming my way after that. So yeah, Kabutops, specially defensive, take hits, get Rocky Helmet damage wherever, and spin away those hazards if he brings them, basically. So, that is the fourth member. Up next, we're going to need some special offense, I think. So, we are going to move on to our fifth member of the team, Tornadus. Now, Tornadus. Assault Vest, which I've brought a few times before, at least once against Sam, I know I did. We have got Defiant as the ability. With the Assault Vest, obviously, there's no point running Prankster. 84 HP, max special attack, 172 speed, timid, Hurricane, Grass Knot, Sludge Wave, and U-Turn are the moves. Now, with that speed investment, I will be outspeeding his Mega Medicham, absolutely guaranteed. The benchmark for base 100 speed-wise is 167 when max invested, so 168 is the golden magic number to outspeed those guys. Mega Medicham is one of them. I can destroy that thing's face with a Hurricane, and let's be honest, other than the Rotom Heat, he doesn't really have much that wants to take a Hurricane at all. Milotic will take one, it'll probably take two, especially since I'm not got a boosting item or nature. But you know, Mega Medicham will be destroyed, Donphan doesn't want to take it, it's not very specially defensive, Vileplume certainly doesn't, nor does Gardevoir really, but in case of that I do have Sludge Wave for Gardevoir. Greninja, don't want to take it, Bisharp doesn't really want to take it. Milotic is one of the reasons I have Grass Knot on this thing. Donphan, similarly, if he's like Assault Vest, Grass Knot might be doing a little bit more. But yeah, Tornadus with the Assault Vest will also take a hit, maybe, from Greninja. Similarly, Gardevoir, and maybe, possibly, potentially, perhaps the Rotom Heat. And get off some nice damage with some kind of attack. Not that I'm going to be staying in on Rotom Heat if I can avoid it at all costs. So that is Chicago the Tornadus, another sort of big hitter. Now, final member of the team, we do still want some more real, raw special power. So, we have got Sylveon in the 6th slot. Sinatra returns with a Kebia Berry as the item. We've got Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Wish, and Calm Mind. We've got 248 in HP, 136 in defense with that bold nature, and 124 in speed. Very interesting, I know. Now, Hyper Voice, Psyshock, very standard fare on defensive Sylveon, Wish, Calm Mind equally so. So it's actually a fairly standard moveset as far as Sylveon goes. Kebia Berry, obviously I don't want to be taking poison hits. The likes of Poison Jab from Mega Medicham is something he could very much have. Donphan gets Gunk Shot, Vileplume can hit hard with Poison Stab as well. And of course then you've got Gunk Shot on Greninja. So the Kebia Berry will be doing a decent job against those guys. And most of them I can hit very hard with Hyper Voice or Psyshock, especially if I've got a Calm Mind up. Now, 124 in speed. Interesting one, I know. But remember who else we went through on this team? Mega-Scizor, and I was like, yeah, I can baton pass speed into things like Mesprit, maybe into the Blaziken if I want one up itself, or into this guy, Sylveon. With the speed I've got, with +2, I will be outspeeding Greninja, and everything scarfed, I think, that isn't Rotom Heat. I might not outspeed Gardevoir. But the main thing is, I'll be outspeeding Greninja, which is good. Because +2, +2 speed is great, so I outspeed that. I can OHKO with Hyper Voice, I don't need to be invested to OHKO Greninja with Hyper Voice, and Sylveon can really put the hurt on him. You know, Sylveon puts the hurt on a lot of teams, and to be honest, I'm not expecting him to expect this guy to be the speed receiver. You know, I have a Blaziken, I have a Tornadus, I have a Mesprit, I even have a Kabutops, and Scizor to use it itself. I'm thinking, if anything, this will be the one thing he doesn't expect to receive speed once he sees Agility Scizor. So, hopefully it can have a little bit of surprise factor and do some nice damage to his team. It can really, really put the hurt on him, especially if Milotic's taking damage, if Rotom Heat has taken damage, if Donphan's Sturdy is broken, it can really put the hurt on him, I'm hopeful for. And if, God forbid, he does find something to outspeed me with Poison, I have a Kebia Berry. I'm expecting Poison offense more so than Steel offense, if I'm honest. I'm not even sure how much he has that's with Steel offense, apart from the obvious Bisharp. I don't think Gardevoir gets Flash Cannon. Donphan might get Iron Tail, maybe, but it's most likely going to be going with Gunk Shot. So I think Kebia Berry is going to be more useful than, what's that thing called, Babiri Berry. So yeah, that is Sylveon, and that is pretty much the team. Now, biggest threats on RTK's side. I've already said it. It's Mega Medicham. You know, I feel like I have enough checks to Greninja to be able to deal with it. It's certainly the second biggest threat in this team, but I think Mega Medicham is just that little bit more of a threat. It's got the coverage and the power to deal with literally everything I have other than the Mesprit, and this is literally, you know, Mesprit has coverage to deal with a lot of stuff on future teams, but this is one of the main reasons I got it in, and I know that's not necessarily the wisest thing to do, to make a transfer specifically for 1-1, but if I didn't have Mesprit, Mega Medicham would literally destroy me, and there would be nothing I could do about it. So I had to bring in Mesprit, and I'm glad I did. Mega Medicham is the biggest threat, as I say, it can destroy much of what I have. Mesprit is my only surefire counter to it. I have a check in the form of Tornadus, but that is it. That is all I have for the Mega Medicham. So, as far as the team I'm expecting him to bring is concerned, Mega Medicham will be one of the first names on that list. I'm fully expecting Mega Medicham to be there. Milotic as well. I think Milotic will be second up. You know, it'll deal with my Kabutops most likely. And given that he has those two that can benefit from my defog, I'm expecting him to want to bring Milotic, expecting my new Kabutops. Milotic can also, hopefully, on his side, deal with Blaziken fairly effectively, especially if it's physically defensive. Rotom Heat, I expect him to be bringing as well. Nice to be able to get that Volt Switch initiative. I only have Crocodile as an immunity, and I'm not bringing it. And I don't think he would expect me to bring Crocodile, because it has a fairly poor matchup against his team. Donphan, yep, Donphan I think he'll be bringing 2. He'll want to have his own Rapid Spin going. I now have a few more Rock Setters. So that's nice. I would expect him to want to bring Donphan. It also has very nice coverage. I could see him bringing a cheeky offensive selection. Maybe sort of max HP, max attack with enough speed to creep something, maybe even the Sylveon. So Donphan I would expect. Vileplume, no, don't see him bringing Vileplume. I have far too much to be able to deal with Vileplume. And, you know, the draw of it being able to put things to sleep, I don't think it's going to be enough. Gardevoir, yep, I reckon he'll bring Gardevoir. Nice sort of special option, it could be bulky. And it has, again, very nice coverage for the team. I'd expect him to be packing Hidden Power Fire on it, for example, to be able to deal with my Mega-Scizor in a pinch. It could very well be Babiri Berry. Greninja, yep, I think that's going to be the last member of his team. He just transferred it in, so clearly there's a reason for that. It's incredibly quick, it's incredibly powerful, it's got a massive amount of coverage. I could see him bring a special bias mix set, probably with U-Turn and Sludge Bomb, Gunk Shot, with, I guess, Scald and Ice Beam, potentially Scald and Hidden Power Grass, something like that, or Hidden Power Fire. But yeah, I expect Greninja to be there. Bioshock? Nah, I don't think so. Not this time. Sure, it's nice to be able to deal with the Sylveon, but I have the likes of Blaziken, who can be EV to deal with it. I have, Tornadus, who is a very nice check. I think I have just enough things to be able to deal with the Bioshock, and, as far as taking advantage of my potential defog goes, he's got Milotic to be able to do that, which I think is going to be something that does the job better in this scenario. So, that's the team I think he'll be bringing. Mega Medicham, Milotic, Rotom Heat, Donphan, Gardevoir, and Greninja are the things I think he will be bringing to this game. But that is pretty much going to wrap things up from me, so thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Keep your eyes peeled for pre-game entertainment coming up hopefully in the not too distant future, followed closely by the game itself, hopefully up in the next couple of days. But yes, do look forward to that. Should be a good one. Last season was really close against RTK, so hopefully we can have a similar result with a similar standard of game this season. Speaking of the man himself, RTK's links will be down in the description below. Make sure you go and check them out. He has been doing wonders with the Portland Timburrs after a fairly ordinary start to the season. He took a couple of 5-0 losses very early on, but he's bounced back and tried to drag himself back into it very effectively, as one would expect of him. But yeah, his links will be in the description. Check them out. Check out his Twitter. Check out his YouTube. You can see all his fantastic content over there. Links, of course, also to the PPL Twitter and YouTube and Titos, who did all the designs for the thumbnail templates that we are using. So yes, all those links, check them out. But yeah, I'm getting out of here. I've rambled on far too long. So my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.